Easiest. Wolfar. It's gotta be Wolfar, right?
Okay, well, we got Rasposo playing Valder versus Legomann playing Caesar. This is a very interesting matchup in Fog. Because Valder gets... Actually, which groove do you use in Fog? I guess both of them are very good for different reasons.
So Valder's tier 1 requires you to have knowledge about the game state. It's 100 groove charge, which is not insignificant. Like, if you delay your tier 2 groove by 100 charge, you're now putting it in the same tier as Koji. You need to get Koji value from using a tier 1 and then a tier 2 if you want to use tier 1. So it's not usually worth it. I think that in Fog you just use tier 2 because you don't have enough information about the map to understand if the tier 1 is going to be valuable for you.
I could see that. But I do wonder if like you could pop a tier 1 just to yoink a village pretty early. That if you've studied the map and you know the openings, and I think the players we've been seeing play have a pretty solid understanding of how the openings on this map work. I think you could maybe like surprise yoink a village off of someone early and then surprise them. But I do also think you're right, and there is definitely a lot of value to be had out of surprise. I have swords everywhere. They all do 150% damage. And I'm just gonna throw them straight at you. And ooh, interesting. Not seeing a full heal on the commander, goes for an air trooper.
And we've seen air troopers get a lot of value in sneaky vision.
And actually something...
It's an interesting...
Right, you go ahead.
What? Yeah, you countered my go-ahead with a go-ahead. I triple-double go-ahead you.
Okay, I was gonna say it's interesting that Rasposo is building largely dogs and not swords right now. Obviously it makes sense to have a lot of dogs, but that's a lot less swords you're gonna have for when you pop the inevitable tier 2.
That's a really good point. Valder wants swords for that tier 2, and I think this might be a little bit of a weakness in Fog, where dogs have more value and swords have less.
Ooh, we see the first commander action of the game, and ooh, yeah, that's gonna get Valder very close to having his tier 1. And I guess like the one really good thing about Valder's tier 1, even though, you know, most of the time tier 2 is better, is just the threat of tier 1 is actually very useful. Just being able to say, I can attack you from 9 tiles away with my commander for a small amount of damage. I could throw a sword suicide from one of these rivers into your commander if I wanted to.
Is Rasposo doing what I think they're doing? Ooh. If the knight was just 1 tile closer, this would be GG. Yeah, if the knight was just 1 tile closer, the game would be over right now.
I wonder if they know that from experience. Like, they know that the knight just can't reach that point this early in the game.
I mean, theoretically could have. I think there could have been an earlier timing. Yeah, I think that's a really tricky timing. You can get a commander kill if your opponent does that, if you set up correctly.
That's either some very ballsy play or just like complete knowledge of the map.
Well, I think it's more no one would expect to be lethal that early. Like, it's not something that would happen in a normal game.
Yeah, it is also true. Yeah, ooh, dog being very bold there. Yeah, Legomann
is not...
Either reckless or brave, possibly both.
I mean, when I spent all that money on a $400 chicken, I don't let it loose on the beach, I can tell you that.
Ooh, but there's no vision. Actually, Rasposo has no idea that those 2 units are where they are. Oh,
Yeah,
and that air trooper could flank and hit the knight now? Oh.
it can, but that was a really nice attack. The 400 gold air trooper went down. A village was swapped. And if Caesar battles now, they're going to lose even more gold on that village there. Is this tier 1?
It is 127 as well, so this could have been sooner, but oh, it just wants to clear up the dog. Deny their opponent's vision, and yeah, I can see it. You get a little bit of tempo, and yeah, Legoman had a good fight. Ooh. Okay.
It looks like Rasposo's just trying to get unit count on Caesar. And that's not a bad thing to do, but I just don't know if it's working.
Yeah, those spears are not going to be in range to support Caesar, so...
And we're seeing that Legoman had all of these flanking units that are now coming in and just taking the unit count back. I think that tier 1 was ill-advised.
I'm just so interested to see how this is going to play out. Rasposo, yeah, they're just going to back up. They're like, wait a minute, I want to be safe. Oh, and being very safe there, pulling the sword even further back. I guess they recognize, hey, Caesar has groove. I need to be careful of that. Tier 1 Caesar groove is extremely dangerous. Obviously, you know,
It can be.
Tier 2 is obviously what you're aiming for, but like, you have to respect the tier 1s.
If I can make my opponent use tier 1 Caesar Groove to kill a couple of dogs, I'll celebrate.
Yeah, that's fair. But there have definitely been some TYM games we've seen where people just spammed Caesar tier 1 and really like got a ton of value out of it every time, so... But that said, yeah, Legoman I think really wants that tier 2. They're going to be able to build up pretty quickly towards it. 124% now. Air Trooper, yep, just gonna get out of dodge. There's a lot of units over on that left-hand side that could deal with that.
One big weakness in that plan on this map is it's deceptively far from the barracks. Like, to take pikes and put them on the front lines, there's a big journey. You can't just balloon dump. You've got to dedicate to it a bit. So I think that there's a chance Caesar can get baited into grooving too soon before the army is ready. We'll see if that happens.
I guess if you're Rasposo, you just want to keep the unit count down. You do not want to let Caesar build up an army around him. And actually, I almost wonder if it'd be worth like swapping commander off of this front onto the other front just to try and chew through a lot of these units.
Because well, there's not a lot Valder can do on the other front because Caesar will be defensive on the left side. You know, you have a commander who is a wall, and you're not going to lethal them. Even with tier 2, you're not going to lethal Caesar in this position. Not for a few more turns. Unless Caesar really messes up. And if you put the commander on that side, Caesar's going to be more careful. So you're not going for lethals. What are you doing? Well, you're trying to kill army, but are you going to eat through those pikes? With swords? No. With dogs? No. But on the left side, you're fighting a weaker army. You have commander to kill some of the heavier stuff. You can maybe use your groove to spawn more swords and outnumber them. So I think Valder can just kind of do a lot more on the right side.
Yeah, and I guess actually, if he builds tier 2 as well, that affects the left hand side too.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a global ult in that regard, so.
Bozo? Oh, no. Okay. I thought they were going to like leave the village alive to hit it again with Valder and get more groove.
Did he just send a sword forward to scare it and then pull it back?
Possibly.
That's what it looked like. Which is also another really good use of frogs, is you can just scare it a little bit and then... And actually, the frog's soon going to be in position to jump on one of these reef tiles, which means very few units are going to be able to deal with it at all. So it's actually a very scary place for the frog to be. Ooh. Dog gets ambushed. That's really not what you want to have happen. But I guess Legoman potentially sacrificing this dog just for scanning information. That said, infantry is, you want to keep all your infantry alive as Caesar because they're like the only thing they can groove in. Ooh. Oh, pulls both dogs.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, that one's going to go down. It actually sets up a wonderful scout of the army. And yeah.
I can't tell you how happy that made me. Just the frogs licking the dogs into the army.
Oh,
That was so adorable.
another tier 1. And actually coming out again a little bit over 100%. Like, Valder could be at like 50% more right now. And maybe even have like the groove last turn instead of this one. But doesn't quite have the efficiency set up. You have to be very very careful.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Using the groove in the way that Rasposo did, they pushed forward too quickly and got their knight killed and got their harpy killed. And by now they could have had a tier 2 and produced the same number of swords. Like, Valder didn't need to run forward at Mach 7 with just swords and some very vulnerable units. I think it would have been better to wait for T2, to be patient, and to just farm groove on the right side and try to get unit count that way. I think it was a little too hasty using the tier 1. But I love the frogs.
The frogs are a nice touch. I will give Rasposo some credit. The constant use of building units on this right hand side with swords and groove is forcing army to come to the right hand side, which is not where it wants to be. The army wants to be near Caesar. You want to have as many options as you can for doing a big push forwards.
You see, this is really frustrating. I wish Rasposo had attacked there, because you could trade swords for flamingos. That's such great value.
I'm also slightly sad the frog didn't go into the reef tile because it has so many options for being aggressive.
Well, it would have had trouble with the archer and the harpy. I think that's why I didn't do it.
Fair. Although I guess he didn't know there was an archer at that point, so.
That's true, but with Caesar, you can kind of predict. All right, there's probably going to be an archer. Oh, I love the double balloon.
Wait, archer wouldn't be able to do anything because reef tile's a forest.
Mm,
Your frog just hides in it.
I think you can scout it, but yeah, that's a good point. It would be difficult. Also, I like Legoman's double balloon, because we were talking about how it's a little hard to get ballooned units to the front lines, but with 2 balloons, you could do it.
Yeah. Also, excellent wallers in fog, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, getting a lot of utility out of that. And, Rasposo responds, gets their own balloon. Ooh, actually, being a bit aggressive counter-attack-wise here. Oh, they're going to have another tier 1 groove to burn pretty quickly. Okay, Rasposo, I think, yeah, just gotta pull back a bit here. Recognizes that, yeah, like I need to be careful with this. These are almost with tier 2, and there's a lot of units near here, infantry-wise.
Yeah, the goal for Rasposo is don't let the stronghold die. Brave. Ooh, Legoman being a little bit aggressive on Caesar's side. They don't want to lose these pikes.
Harpy gets surprised. Oh, I see what's going on though. Just wants to hit. These are all just like raw groove moves right now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That would validate the play. That would validate the play.
Yeah, and I think 199. Okay, now he has it. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of damage. I kind of wish the sword had come in. I think it could have actually just reached. Okay. Of course, there's no damage bonus on any of these. They do have Olympic marathon running skills, so. Oh.
Yes, they do.
And just gonna go for army damage here. Oh, if the sword had been left in range, I think it actually would have been able to go for a hit on that spear or something, or even the stronghold.
That was a really nice groove.
It was. Is Rasposo going to be able to clear this up? No tier 2 available. Oh, the golem's so far out of position. Oh, big frog pull. It's going to be very, very useful. And absolutely needed too, because yeah, there's just like a lot of stuff here. Okay. Big Mage Hill comes in. Yep, you're gonna need to do something just to keep this army a bit more durable.
That's a little awkward. That pike is providing a lot of vision. The archer's there. I think even if Caesar smashes the rest of their units against this, it'll still be great value.
Oh, but all of these units on the right-hand side, they sacrifice so much life just to be aggressive. And I think, yeah, that's a massive punish. Those are getting a lot of value. And yeah, just gonna bring these swords over to defend.
It was an expensive attack. It was not without cost.
Okay.
Oh. Legoman feeling the pressure now, like, oh, I actually lost a lot of units on this. My army kind of got spent. Maybe I need to commit my commander. Ooh, with the sword crit.
Oh, that was nice. That golem still... Oh, it'll get into position there, actually.
Alright, let's play everyone's favorite game. Can Caesar die here?
It's... Oh, I don't know. Oh, I would have hexed if I could have, actually. I think that 40% health sword is going to be pretty spooky.
I really love the frog setting up the mage crit, but I would have tried for a lethal here. I don't know if there was one on the table, though, to be fair. There might not have been one on the table.
Yeah, I mean, oh, you can just move all the units with the balloon, actually, so... And you've got a golem in front. This stronghold is not going to die. I think Caesar's lost a bit too many units. He's going to maybe get a tier 1 groove pretty soon, but... I think they had a decent attack, and they cleared a lot of army, but Rasposo just had a little bit too much. Oh, actually, maybe it was less so that Rasposo had a little bit too much, but more that they stayed for an extra turn. And Legoman just really committed to the offense. Now, they are clearing stuff up on the right-hand side. Ooh, I love that use of the witch just to scout.
Yeah. Actually, could you open the overview for a sec? I'm curious what the economy is.
I can maybe attempt to. I'm not going to be able to get it, I don't think. No. I'm doing my
Just
best.
spam escape key. It'll work. Yeah,
Okay.
trust. There we go.
Oh.
No. All right.
Okay, 1400s. They're doing okay.
Versus. Wait, no, we gotta see our spot.
Alright, we'll go over you. 800. Oh, so Legoman's actually really high up on economy right now.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to check it, because it looked to me like Rasposo was missing quite a few villages.
Yeah, I do think he's quite ahead on unit count though, so... And oh, he's now going to have tier 2 groove on Valder, so he should be able to do something with this. Even put commander on Mountain.
Let's see what's over here. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's a dragon. Which, I guess you'll know is there actually at this point.
Dragons are sneaky, Barrett.
Yeah, well, it depends. You know, if your opponent has sound off, I guess they are, but... This is turning into a really interesting game, actually. Like, you were 17 turns in, you know, Legoman's backing off a bit. They do have 85%, so, you know, they're getting their way back to another groove, but I suppose we could get tier 2 this turn if you really, really wanted to.
So, Barrett, remember, like, ages ago when I mentioned Sequoia's tier list?
Yes.
Ever since then, Mastro and Sequoia have been debating Caesar versus Pistol in #general-competitive. They have been doing that ever since.
It's been quite a while since you mentioned it, actually. Fog games tend to be quite long, so... Oh, okay. Now we have tier 2 up on Valder. And does Legoman know that? I guess they do now.
Yeah. They're aware, but it doesn't matter. Like, honestly, Valder is not considered very high tier anymore. even before the nerf, some people, I don't think it was just me, were saying that Valder was a tiny bit overrated. And now that the nerf has made it so that the empowered swords don't one-shot anymore, Valder's a lot weaker. It's kind
Yeah,
of like,
but there
okay, my
are
sword.
7 swords on the right-hand side, including groove ones. That's
I
a lot
mean,
of spooky skeletons, right? Oh, Caesar might
sure.
just be dead, though.
Well, Caesar probably should have been dead, but the lethal didn't happen.
Okay. Oh,
The funny
Rasposo.
thing is, okay, I know the first dog would have had to have attacked for it to be a lethal, and that's a big risk to take.
Right. I think the follow-up turn is going to kill Caesar, though. I don't think there's anything to actually keep Caesar alive here. Like, the village won't even heal Caesar to full. And this army can just keep chasing. There is a dragon, which has now been spotted. Oh, there is a mage for anti-air, so yeah, they're fine. Okay. Caesar gets the full. I think the units that kept Caesar alive, though, are just gonna die, but I'm not sure. That's actually a lot of army on the bottom left.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And Caesar does have tier 1s. If you don't kill Caesar, then yeah, you're just
No,
gonna...
the sword got kidnapped. But at what cost? That actually sets up a really nice T2.
Yeah, that's gonna be a ton of damage. If Rasposo decides to go for it, which I think at
Can they
this point
see it? They can't see it
they don't have vision. Oh yeah, none of their units actually have any vision over here.
because all the dogs died.
And they didn't balloon one of the dogs over. Oh, they're setting up
Oh,
for another turn.
they just missed it. That's so unfortunate.
Okay. Well, Rasposo are going to get a very gold efficient turn here. They're going to be able to take out a few units. And, ooh, yeah, just going to bonk that spear a bit.
I mean, I would have hit the flamingo there. Oh, they couldn't see it because forest. Never mind.
Even going to capture this village. Okay.
Now, I have a question. How come I can see that flamingo? Right?
That was... Maybe the dog moved... Yeah, the dog's there.
Oh, right. I forgot dogs have magic recon powers. Yeah. The problem with playing Advanced Wars is you forget how this game works. Recons can't see into forests.
Ooh, those are some very dead air troopers. Actually, that dragon's going to eat a ton of damage too. Unless the balloon sacrifices itself bravely. Oh, but even if it tries to, the frog could potentially pull it out of the way, so... Ooh, every turn this army goes forward... Actually, it's doing a lot of damage though. That sword count is dropping quite heavily.
Yeah. I mean, the 7 samurai are not going to compete with the 5 mangy mutts.
Okay, finally some vision is coming in at this point. And are the dogs gonna be able to do it? Oh, here we go.
Rise from your grave.
We are finally seeing swords come up, and yep, they're just gonna do a ton of damage. Sacrifices 1 just to allow the second sword to get the big crit. Ooh.
But doesn't that one shot anyway? Maybe it doesn't. I might be wrong.
Okay, pulls the air trooper? Good choice. I guess just wants that mountain tile for themselves.
Maybe.
Okay, I mean the fight at the top right is over, but this will continue. Ooh, gets the air trooper, nicely done. And this is actually a pretty good turn for Rasposo, and they've been pushing back the map. I will give them that as well. Like the economy is, I think, a lot more even than it was before. Even possibly having flipped it at this point. I believe this is like an 11. 100 gold map per turn, and Legoman's starting on 1,000.
If you press escape very quickly, we can see for sure.
Okay, take a look. Yeah, 1,000 means that because it was 800 and 1,400 before, so that's 2,200. So yeah, they're a little bit behind on economy right now. Ooh, Caesar going to continue to do some damage here, and I don't think there's particularly great anti-air. That said, the frog could pull the dragon into something if a unit is able to be moved into position.
A monumentous occurrence has just happened. Sequoia and Mastro have stopped arguing about the tier list.
Excellent. Oh, and Rasposo securing just lots of money right now. Taking lots of villages. And I think that's the main thing, is like they're pretty happy. They've managed to secure a ton of this territory at the bottom left, right?
Funny thing is, because the army is largely dogs, Legoman's been having trouble taking villages as they advance. On the right side.
Yeah, they just don't have much to actually knock villages. Oh, they're going to have to start spending dogs. And having to use a mage to capture. Yeah, you're right. There's just not much to capture with. And the dogs are very fragile, so all these villagers are actually going to be very weak from having to heal these dogs.
I think we've actually got an even map now.
Yeah, I think it actually is almost dead even. No, you're right. It's completely even. So both of them kind of going back to like a kind of neutral starting point. Neither player has too much groove advantage either, so yeah, I don't know. I'm very sad that Rasposo, for Rasposo's sake, didn't take out that dragon, because that dragon is of course going to be very threatening. Able to, you know, knock down. Oh, there's a lot of villages on road actually on this map, especially like these corner ones are. So let's put some work. But oh no, Legoman doesn't need a dragon for this top right. Just gonna knock these down. Oh, now we're seeing Legoman being more in the driver's seat, and this could honestly be a very long game. Like, we're at 23 turns already, and neither player really has like a game-winning advantage. Oh, Caesar has tier 2 though. I completely missed that. They don't have the army for it though.
Legoman, in addition to being Caesar, has the better position because they have the capability of fighting on the left and pushing on the right, and they've already done so.
Yeah, they do have a lot more army value. Like, Rasposo sacrificed some pretty big units to be able to take that bottom left corner, and here they've got a golem, 2 golems now, but they are going to struggle a bit on economy, and they have to be able to do good gold trades with what they have. And Legoman just slowly healing this dragon every single turn. They continue to keep capturing these villages, keep pushing this economic lead, and they know there's no tier 2 groove coming out from Valder anytime soon, so relatively safe right now. And I think you just buy nice infantry units that go well with Caesar. You could even move some dogs over from the right hand side to the left hand side. I think that is also another play that could take place. Something as well that happened earlier that I didn't really call it as too big a deal at the time, but I feel like it's having an impact, is Rasposo sacked a mage to kill a balloon, and that's really slowing down the reinforcement path on Legoman's side. That may have been 8 turns ago at this point, but I think it actually is you're starting to see the effects of like that lack of reinforcement.
Rasposo's not playing this very well. They're getting pressured and pushed back. That was a very questionable... What? What? Why?
Okay. Is Legoman just like, it's turn 25, I just want this game over?
I think so. I think that's what we're seeing.
Because, I mean, they're just going in with everything now. Oh, and honestly, with this amount of economic damage, you could actually take a pretty bad fight.
Yeah.
Sure, it might take, because your opponent isn't going to win the game in like 3 or 4 turns, right? So, yeah, you can just be like super over aggressive at this kind of point in the game. Oh, could you use the mage on the left there? I don't know how I feel about that. Okay. Oh, it just wants to use this mage for healing, I guess.
The hexing is unnecessary.
Yeah, but it looks cool and it feels good. And actually, witches do give a lot of vision, so that might have also been part of it. Oh, tier 1 coming out? Okay. Word crit follow up, nice. The archer is quite threatening. I don't know why you'd leave the archer alive. Especially, commander's next to a river as well. Oh no.
Well, the reason for keeping the archer alive is because you want to finish off the dog, and the archer is very slow. It only has 3 movements, so it can go down, and the best it can do is hit a sword or a dog, so it'll be value for your next turn.
Okay. This looked like infantry were getting into position for tier 2, but not quite yet. Commander just moves forward to get vision. Knight crits the dog on the mountain.
Ooh, that's something.
Return to dust.
It's either really good or really bad.
I don't think Valder's under any kind of real pressure here, so...
It's really bad.
Yeah, I guess, well, if your dog's gonna go down just to sack for information, you might as well hit the opponent's commander.
True. Get a little groove charge from it.
Yeah, and you know, like, chipping an opponent's commander is like, in fog especially, it's like very scary to have a commander that isn't full health.
Return to dust.
I suppose, or just no fear, just like, I'm just gonna kind of be okay with that.
Well, I suppose I kind of had enough information to know that they were probably alright there.
Very true. Ooh, frog pull. Yeah, that spear's gonna go down. Dings the golem for 1%, but you're kind of just like okay with that at this point. And yeah, you just want to finish off units like archers and stuff. If you're fighting Caesar, you know your opponent's got some skills.
Nice!
Ooh, mage crit on the knight. Nicely done. Yeah, just brings the barge forward to tank instead of the spears. Like, you don't actually want to put your spears on the front line itself. You want them to be behind the front line so that they can counterattack.
I think that was from The Art of War, written by Sequoia. Ooh, Golem going down.
Bonk. Oh, 26%? Not quite dead yet. I guess maybe Air Trooper can not quite kill it. I don't think they'd quite do enough damage, but we'll bring it low. Okay. Archer, yeah, just gonna move to a relatively safer position, but I think it's still dead. The dog just chases it down and kills it. Oh, is this gonna be the tier 2 turn?
No.
It is?
What? What? But no! You... No, that's
Oh,
so bad.
these 2 units in the back could have been grooved instead of that 1 air trooper as well. Oh. Oh, is that just game?
It could be. It could be. But based on the way Rasposo's been playing, they might not go for it. They've been very hesitant to deep dive things.
Dragon goes down. And I guess Legoman's just like fed up of playing this game.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I can think for why you do something like that. Mage crit does not kill spear anymore, so that will live. And it feels like Legoman just wants to be out of this game, and Rasposo is refusing to let it end.
I think Rasposo just didn't realize they had a lethal. They've been playing very cautiously. And I think they're overestimating how well they're doing at each point in time. Sorry, underestimating. They're underestimating their own bored state.
Yeah, Legomann just doesn't have much of an army left at this point.
But because Rasposo doesn't realize that they're retreating on a front they were winning, and now it's falling apart again, but they're going to start pushing on the left again, and the game will just keep going on. It's a spiral.
Okay, I mean, Legomann seems to not want the game to be done badly enough to just suicide a commander, and I wonder if they misplayed and like meant to catch more of their army with the tier 2, but I guess that's like another thing about Caesar is you have to be incredibly patient to play Caesar well, because you have to be willing to, ooh, I love that, actually capturing and then pulling back. That's really smart.
Like, I think it's widely accepted that if you're playing Caesar and you're too hasty, your best friend and a bunch of people who hate you are going to stab you on the Ides of March.
And someone in chat saying this is why kill tracking is really important, Fog, and yeah, you're right. Like, Legomann just barely has an army left to fight with. But if you aren't keeping track of every single kill that's going on, like, you're just not going to be aware of that. And Legomann has this massive economic advantage. But at this point, you just want to build infantry. Like, you really just want to have... I'm surprised frogs are getting built and not, like, merfolk. Maybe merfolk are banned on this map? I'm not sure. And we're going into...
I mean, why would you make a merfolk? What would you do with it?
You could put it in the center. You could groove it with Caesar. You got a 4... Actually, no, they get +2 movement, but on land they would only get +1, so... But, you know, there's like a river tile there they could crit from. There must be stuff we could do with Caesar. I mean, actually, you could put a merfolk in the center of the map and just camp with the reef tiles.
You could, if you want to spend, you know, 350 gold on archer food.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the main thing I'm thinking of is it's just another unit Caesar could groove. And Legomann's biggest issue right now is the unit count is so low that, like, Caesar can't get a good groove off. And yeah, I mean, they're both...
Legomann's biggest issue is that they've gotten a little impatient.
Yes. This is also very...
And I don't blame them. The ballista! Let's go!
Oh, and this is the point where you're just like... I guess we're seeing, like, all the stages of grief, right? And now we're seeing acceptance of... I'm just gonna be in this game for the rest of time, so...
I like how ballista is the final stage of grief.
It's just like, yep, well, you know what? If my opponent isn't gonna just, like, die at some point, then I'm just gonna slowly push them with ballista, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, nice frog pull there. What's gonna be the follow-up, though, if anything? Golem not going to be used? Okay, makes sense. I guess Caesar's there. You don't want to, like, lose a golem to something stupid, but we're actually seeing commander versus commander on one front now, which I guess Rasposo is just like, well, maybe I could just tier 2 groove and push my way through Caesar's army and then win that way.
Like, tactically, Legomann has won the game. They have most of the map, more pressure, a better late game groove, and they're investing in late game now with the ballista coming in. But Rasposo could win if they just realized that they could win. But now they're losing that ability. It's one of the things about Fog. You can think you're losing and retreat when you're actually winning and don't want to be doing that. Oh no!
Return to dust.
Like, flicking that door out of the way. And yeah, I mean, Rasposo's going to have tier 2 groove for next turn, so...
If there is a next turn...
I mean, it'd be okay. If the witch gets into position... Oh wow, Valder's just, like, right out in the open, isn't he? Caesar doesn't have groove, though. And I don't think there's a way to build 45%. But they have complete vision over this, so... Oh, but there's nothing to suicide. Golem plus Caesar is not going to do enough damage. So it's a very brave move from Rasposo. They're just slowly ceding more and more ground. I guess the plan on the top right is to wait for your opponent to overextend and then punish it. But Legomann is being very cautious on the top right, of all things. Being a little bit reckless on the bottom left.
It's not that Legomann's being cautious. It's just that Rasposo's backing up so very, very much that there's nothing to fight.
True. Yeah, that's also true. Okay, we're seeing Frog Pull just for the damage. Alright. Big tier 2 gonna come out. There are some swords, but only like 3 of them are actually in range to do anything. Okay, gonna hit that mage, gonna hit that mage. I guess just wants to clear a bunch of the anti-air out. Hex could come down actually and do quite a lot of damage here. As we see the pike go down. Ooh, golem on golem action.
It's not that they're trying to clear the anti-air, because they don't have much air. It's more just maximum damage. And this is one of the reasons that Valder is kind of just okay. Because like, alright, my powerful tier 2, why don't kill 2 mages?
Yeah. I guess like there was some damage up on the top right as well, so I am also like not kind of including that. I guess like yeah, you got like 2 sword hits on the knight, which Valder tier 2 with like 150% is like the new damage value. Oh, actually, sorry, Legomann on 1337 gold. Nice, but yeah, like it's a lot weaker. You can really like, kind of feel it now, but it wasn't enough to push Caesar back. And yeah, you're right. Like it is gold value damage, but it's also just lowering the unit count, which I think is the important thing. You just don't want to give Caesar good infantry units to play with.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. It is having the effect of causing fights to happen where Caesar's losing unit count.
And like Caesar can have all the groove he wants, but if he has no infantry around him, then that could be useful. Ooh, finds a free harpy.
I love free harpies. Well, that is a tile to stand on, Valder.
And Rasposo's aware that there's a mage somewhere down here, but you gotta see it before you can hit it.
It's more just like, I'm gonna stand on a road tile when I have no vision of the enemy units. Well, I guess in Wargroove too, it's less threatening.
How many turns do you think we get to in this game? I'm now realizing that I need to go shopping at some point and buy food.
I mean, this is one of those situations where both players are good enough not to... How should I put this? They've both thrown the game, but not in ways that their opponent could pick up on. So like they are at the same level of skill, and their defense is superior to their opponent's offense, and this is true for both of them. So they keep running into situations where they're good enough that they know, okay, my opponent can kill me here, I need to pull back. But they haven't quite leveled up enough to realize, okay, I can win the game. So we're just kind of in a perpetual situation.
Ooh, commander next to a river. Is this gonna be it?
Maybe, but I doubt it.
Oh, Legomann has so much money. Just throw the balloon in front of your commander, please. Oh no. Oh no, actually that's really scary. I need to remember where... Oh, Rasposo's army's out of position. Oh, it's just too far. Oh, I mean, actually, Valder Groove. Are we gonna... Could we see another tier 2 this turn? 160? If enough of these units were to fight, I think maybe a tier 2 could come out and you could like start throwing swords at Caesar, but oh, if you just don't know who Caesar is. Okay, and yeah, Rasposo doing the actual, what I think is the smart thing, and just being like, I'm just gonna throw my army into their army and go for a lot of damage. 189. Ooh, we could see another tier 2 this turn. Oh, doesn't go for it.
Yeah, there aren't that many targets.
I guess you have to be really reckless to try and get that extra little bit of groove. But it could have happened. I will say that. Like if
And
some of
is
the
Caesar? I've forgotten. There he is.
Yeah, although there's like what? 1, 2 the frogs get boosted by Caesar Groove? I actually don't know that.
Sequoia will know.
Okay,
Let's ask
ooh.
Sequoia.
Tier 1? Oh, 161? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, I guess just wants to bust through the golem? Maybe? No? Just gonna leave it on low health. And that's a lot of swords near Caesar that could have tier 2.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how this game is gonna go.
I mean, Rasposo is now winning.
Your grave.
Yeah, I guess that could be true. I'm just so unsure as how this game's going. Oh,
I mean, just based on the board state, Rasposa is winning.
okay, can they actually do anything about this? Oh, actually, Golem Crit is going to do a lot to this Golem. There is also a frog to pull that Golem. They can just move the Golem out of the way if they really wanted to. Oh no, the Witch took up that tile. Okay, that's a little unfortunate. And oh, just gonna wall it, yeah. Frog unfortunately not gonna be able to pull it into a position it wants to be in. Okay. On the other hand, yeah, Legoman's gonna use the frog. Caesar being aggressive. I mean, I guess you just have to fight at this point.
I mean, you don't want to get overrun. Moving a little bit back might have been warranted, but I can see feeling the need to fight here.
Yeah, because now economy is starting to favor their opponent. And yeah, ballista, like you can't retreat with a ballista very effectively, because the point of the ballista is it's every turn it's meant to get value. Like the big weakness of the ballista is you just can't lose the ballista position.
And I think they have vision on it, so it can be in a little trouble. Turn 37.
Okay. Injures their own dog? Okay, this is the lethal turn. You do not go for a move like that unless you're confident you can win.
Yeah, you got 3 sides, multiple suicides. I really like the frog self-damage thing.
Yeah, that was really smart, and yeah. Caesar, I think, is actually going to go down here. Oh, has to move another dog into position. Okay, swords.
Does that sack?
I think it does. Oh, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Surely
That's-
they're still lethal. Surely
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
still
absolutely. You can kill this. Oh, you can't kill the frog. Oh, no. Oh, no.
lethal. Surely they're still lethal.
No, there isn't. Oh, that's such a big blunder. I mean, I don't think you can die for counterattack damage. So it's not the end of the world.
I think Rasposo has still won this game. I think they've still won despite that.
I agree. But
Like, these two players are good. They're both good. But they're at a level where their defense is not as good as their offense, which is unusual. Most people get good at attacking first, but they've got good at defending, which is the harder skill. You know, defending is the more difficult skill. But it creates situations like this where you can't end the game. It's a very rare matchup where you have two people who are evenly matched and their defense is higher than their offense.
And I guess fog is gonna exacerbate that, right? Where if you are a better defensive player than an offensive player, fog is gonna benefit the defender a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So that is yeah. Oh, I just don't know how this is gonna go. This is so, because like now Rasposo, what do? Like you can't. Oh wow, you really? He's just gonna go straight for it. He's just gonna walk his commander forwards in fog. These are his tier 1. He has to kill every infantry unit.
There aren't that many.
True, but he still has to kill them. And balloon goes down. Nice snipe. This frog has been such an MVP, by the way. It's gotten so much damage. Okay. Oh yeah. Put the dog there. Hit the village. You can do that. That's completely safe.
Yeah, just keeping Valder safe. Those are good moves. Those are good moves. Quality moves. 10 out of 10. Knight prepping the crit. Like, Rasposo is very deliberate here. They're not overextending, and that is a good way to secure their position in this state.
I just noticed in chat, Rasposo was the person saying reading damage previews is overrated. It's like, okay. Like around, oh, 600 gold. I mean, I guess there was a mate heal there, but
Yeah, Legomann is struggling on economy right now.
I suppose a nice 1400s, 27. And they're smartly, I think, pulling back because it's just like this is when you can overextend. You're on top of your opponent's production. Your opponent's commander is there as well with Groove. This is where you want to be cautious, and now, yeah, we're going to see them just start to push on this right-hand side where they absolutely can. Ooh, might be a little bit bold for that dog to move that far forward, but
I think the big difference between these two during this game is as the game has gone on, Legomann has gotten more and more frustrated and more reckless, whereas Rasposo has just gotten a tiny bit more reckless, and I think that's what they needed. They needed to be just a tiny bit more aggressive. And I think they've sort of attuned better to the situation, and that's making the difference in this game. I say that, and apparently they just overextended.
yeah, Legomann actually getting a really nice turn and doing a lot of damage. However, Rasposo did pull back on the left-hand side, which was the smart thing to do. I think, yeah, you build up. They're so close to tier 2. I think they actually might get it off of the fight in the top right-hand side if they stay.
Why did the knight... What's it aiming at?
I actually don't know. I guess maybe Valder?
No, just... It's not.
Okay. We're gonna see...
Unless they predicted Valder would yoink the golem and take one step forward.
That might be a big brain play, actually. Just, like, put your golem somewhere where you think your opponent was gonna kill it. This is a very juicy bait, and that might have cost Rasposo the game. On turn 40, by the way, we're going super deep into this game. I think this is the second longest game we've had on stream so far. I believe the longest was you versus Sedge in that one quick play match.
That game would have gone longer. Yeah, no, that game is... Games need to have absolute maximum time limits. I'll just say that. You shouldn't play Wargroove without an absolute maximum time limit. Unless it's just chill and you don't want to.
Yeah, like TYM is different. Like you can just have a TYM go literally for years, as historically has happened. There is a game that took like a year or two to complete. I believe that's up on the YouTube channel as well. Sajhun playing a TYM game. I think it's actually possible to search by like video length as well. So you're interested. That game is a replay. It's not a live viewing. Like, people are gonna come into this game and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this might have been like a live viewing of this game." Like, no, it really wasn't. It was just a replay that went quite long. Imagine watching this game in real time, actually.
My Sedge game was live though.
Yes.
The game against Sedge, that was live.
True. But the replay of it was like an hour and something, which is about what you would think would be like a live game length. But...
The replay was faster than the actual game. I guess that's always true. Yeah, why did that surprise me? I don't know. I'm getting delirious because we're on turn 41.
Yeah, and these are players looking like they're going to end this game. Okay, we finally see... Oh, this might be it, actually. Night crit?
This is it.
Yeah,
this is it. Just don't mess up and it's GG.
Yeah, I guess. What's the optimal path? Yeah,
Dog
hit with the
and then
dog
Peter.
from there.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Alright, Lego Man takes it.
Are they going to finish with Groove? That is the question. I think you can. Yeah, you've got Caesar Groove. You might as well play with it.
The flex. The flex.
Oh,
Lego Man's like, no. I'm not just gonna whack you with Commander. I earned this.
and after 42 turns? 43 turns? 41 turns, okay. I was almost there. It's been a long day. And look at that amount of unit count. Oh, wow. Absolute slogger knocker of a game. That was well fought by both players. Legoman getting very impatient at points, and Rasposo just slightly overextends at the end. But they do
I
eventually
don't
finish
blame
it.
him. Like, if this were me, I would have, like, gunga bunged my entire army on turn 20. I'd be like, nope, I'm done with this. In we go.
And I guess, does that answer the question of is Valder or Caesar the better commander?
I think it's widely agreed right now that Caesar is better than Balder. I don't think there's anyone in the World Championships who currently thinks that Balder's better.
But, I mean, I do have to give a lot of credit to Rasposo. They had some excellent plays that game. The use of the frog. That one frog did so much work for like 30 turns.
Oh yeah, Rasposo was playing Frog like it was a normal unit. Like, I don't know how to stress this, but most people who are not named Sequoia, you give them a Frog and they're like, I don't know what to do with this. Let me move it for like 6 turns and then try to pull something, and I guess I didn't need to do that. But Rasposo was playing with Frogs like, oh yeah, it's a core part of Wargroove. I don't know what you're talking about. I got 2 of them. I'm going to pull these dogs in a better attacking position. They were on top of it.
And I mean, I gotta give credit to Legoman. Like, they just played very well. And like, I mean, I think some of the grooves were a bit questionable. I think they were a bit over aggressive at points, but I think they played a pretty solid game. They had a really nice economic lead on 2 separate occasions, which I guess is how this map plays if it goes long enough, is it becomes like a big swing back and forth. As like, you overextend a little bit too much because Fog's really difficult to push in, and then... Yeah, but we got to see some cool stuff. I do think that there were opportunities for different things to get used that weren't. Like, I think you can use naval units on these reef tiles here. I think you can use like merfolk and stuff. And frogs just to like sneakily pull stuff, but... Yeah, that was a long game. And I guess Legoman really stuck it out. There was a point when I thought Legoman would just walk their commander forward and just be like, I'm done. But they kept going, and I guess like the main thing Legoman had here was grit. They really like played through the game and waited for Rasposo to make a mistake. Like, you don't play a 40 turn game unless like you have some amount of cojones, right? Like, you have to like really just be able to dig your heels in and be like, I'm just gonna keep going and eventually I'll win.
Well, actually, I'm pretty sure Legoman had Eagle, Rasposo had Sammy, and the previous game someone was playing Grit.
Okay. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. That was not what I expected when I opened this replay, but I had a good time watching it. I hope you had a good time as well, Sneaky.
I did. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.